Hello, I'm Maura Carley, founder and president of Healthcare Navigation, and today we want to address a very long-standing, weary topic of high healthcare costs in the United States. It's been an issue plaguing us probably but the biggest push was the initiation of the Medicare program in the 60s, Medicare and Medicaid, access drives utilization. But we have other really fundamental problems in the US due to the fee for service incentives, high prices, and so on. But there was a fascinating article in the Wall Street Journal at the end of September, and we'll provide the link, but only people who subscribe will be able to get there. But it was an absolutely fascinating article about employers getting extremely worked up and hostile about what they were paying for hospital care for their employees. And it's interesting because I think everyone recognizes the problem. I mean, the Kaiser Foundation does an annual survey, and I think this year is reporting that the average family premium for group coverage is something like $24,000 a year. It's an astounding amount. And of course, hospital charges and payments are the most likely target because they're the biggest component of the healthcare dollar. I mean, what we spend on drugs gets so much attention, of course, but anyway, you'll recall that in 2018, Amazon and Chase and Berkshire Hathaway formed a joint venture to be a disruptor and see what they could do about this intractable problem. It all ended a few years later. The organization was called Haven, and the speculation was they didn't have enough market power. Again, we've got the problem of perverse incentives with fee for service. Generally, you fill a hospital bed, and that's how hospitals get revenue. And timing, the pandemic, led that to not be a priority in that era. So now we have a group in Indiana that comes along and, like an employer, Employer Forum of Indiana hires the Rand Corporation to do an analysis of what they're paying for hospital care for Indiana residents. And it turns out the study suggested Indiana's paying more than any other state at the time. And this caused a big brouhaha. I think for the most part, employers are a pretty beaten down group about this whole issue, as vexing as it is. But some pretty radical things happened. A lobbying group called Hoosiers for Affordable Health Care was created, which they took some unusual action in promoting this problem. I mean, I'd never even heard of this term geofencing, where you can have ads placed on people's cell phones by vicinity. So if people were visiting the hospital, this outfit was having ads on their phones revealing the value of hospitals' investment portfolios. They also hired trucks with billboards. So it got very, very nasty. The result is legislation was passed, which I think takes effect in 2025, which will lead to much higher scrutiny of hospital bills in Indiana. I mean, one of their quotes from the article was Hoosiers are paying so twice what people in Michigan pay for hospital care. I don't know. It was all benchmarked to Medicare, and that's being challenged. But a benchmark is a benchmark, and there was a whole display of the states and where on average their hospital prices were. Employers are going to pay more, Medicare less, Medicaid even less. But anyway, I think it will be one of those important issues for us to follow going forward, because it's very unusual for things to get this nasty and adversarial, in spite of the environment where we have so many different types of disruptors. I mean, some are very large organizations. I recently visited one of Amazon's one medical facilities. We'll report on that another time. But, now that the pandemic is largely behind us and the hospitals are under so much pressure with filling nursing positions and keeping nurses and other staff, that we can see a return to this struggle over hospital costs. So, not a conclusion, just an ongoing saga. And I thank you for listening, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.